The glass tilted slowly, and the entire ballroom seemed to hold its breath. A stream of crimson amaretto spilled down Leona Draxton's silver gown, soaking the fabric in a spreading splash of red. Gasps erupted around her. A few people laughed, cameras lifted, and standing inches away, smiling like she'd just won a crown, was Celine Hawthorne, socialite, heiress, and professional tormentor of anyone she deemed unworthy. She didn't pretend it was an accident. She didn't flinch. She didn't apologize. No, Celine looked Leona dead in the eye and said, loud enough for half the gala to hear, "Consider it a reminder of where you stand." And just like that, the most expensive humiliation of the year began. The Helix Vanguard Gala was the crown jewel of Greyhaven's elite social calendar. The chandelier lights sparkled like a city made of glass, violinists played in the balconies, and the richest families in the nation gathered to celebrate themselves. But tonight, the spotlight wasn't on the old money crowd. It was on Leona Draxton, CEO of Draxton Dynamics, self-made, respected, and quietly feared in boardrooms across the country. Leona had come as an honoree, but Celine? Celine had come with a target. For years, the Hawthorne family had tolerated Leona's success, barely. She wasn't born into wealth. She wasn't groomed in private academies. She wasn't someone Celine believed deserved access to the Hawthorne empire or its social circles. So when Leona stepped into the gala, poised and elegant in her metallic gown, Celine decided tonight was the night she would put her back in her place. And the red drink dripping from Leona's waist to the ballroom floor was her opening strike. But here's the thing. Celine expected outrage, a scene, tears, maybe even a stumble. What she didn't expect was composure. Leona simply looked down at the stain, then back up at Celine with a calm that unnerved everyone watching. She took a napkin from the nearest table, dabbed her fingers lightly, and said, "Actually, Celine, I know exactly where I stand." No yelling, no theatrics, just a quiet sentence that felt heavier than the music, heavier than the stares, heavier than the humiliation itself. Then she walked away, not toward the restroom, but toward a quiet corner where the lights dimmed and the noise faded. That's when she took out her phone. While Celine returned to her group, basking in the attention, Leona typed one short command into a secure channel connected to her board of directors. She didn't need to raise her voice. She didn't need to defend herself. She simply pressed send. 5 minutes later, the first alert buzzed through the crowd. And then another. And then a dozen more. Investors glanced at their screens, their faces draining of color, as the headline flashed across every corporate feed. Draxton Dynamics terminates $2.4 billion alliance with Hawthorne Global. Integrity clause violation invoked. Celine's smirk froze. Victor Hawthorne, her powerful billionaire brother, stared at his own phone in disbelief. And around the room, whispers exploded like sparks. What happened? Integrity clause. Is this about the Hawthorne audit? Wait, she just pulled out of the partnership? Celine suddenly realized the drink she poured wasn't the only thing spilling tonight. So was her family's empire. Within 15 minutes, Hawthorne Global stock plummeted 9%. Investors rushed to the balcony to make calls. PR managers sprinted toward the exits. Executives whispered threats, arguments, half-formed apologies. Celine could only stand there, trembling, watching the consequences of her ego unfold like a financial avalanche. By morning, Hawthorne Global would lose nearly $500 million in market value. Reporters would swarm the headquarters. Analysts would question the company's leadership. And the Hawthorne name, the name Celine had weaponized, would be dragged through every headline in the country. All because she wanted to embarrass someone who refused to be treated like trash. The gala host, clearly rattled, invited Leona to the stage to address the crowd. The room fell silent. Cameras lifted. Tension thickened. Leona stepped up to the microphone, the red stain on her gown still visible, refusing to be hidden. She began softly. Some people believe power is inherited. Some believe it can be flaunted. But power, real power, is the ability to act with integrity when no one applauds you for it. The room was frozen. Class isn't about the table you sit at. It's about how you treat the people around it, whether or not you think they matter. And then her final line, the one that would explode online hours later. When arrogance becomes your compass, collapse becomes your destination. The audience didn't clap at first. They were too stunned. Then the applause rose like thunder. Someone uploaded the speech. Within 24 hours, it hit 100 million views, trending in over 40 countries. Leona Draxton became a symbol of strength, integrity, and controlled power. Celine Hawthorne became a cautionary tale. In the weeks that followed, Draxton Dynamics tripled in value, becoming the fastest-growing tech firm in the region. Leona's speech was studied in business schools, leadership courses, top talks, everywhere. Hawthorne Global faced investigations, internal mutiny, and massive investor flight. Celine stopped attending events completely. The tables didn't turn. They flipped. Because sometimes the loudest revenge is delivered in silence. And that night at the Helix Vanguard Gala, Leona Draxton didn't just walk away from a spilled drink. She walked away with the entire balance of power in her hands.